What's going on? This is Big G from G Riders, and welcome to another episode of Talking Rides. Today, we're going to be talking with my friend Naomi about her RSTI.
Not really sure, but my brain tells me I've been here before. Don't wanna draw any attention to all the crazy things that I shouldn't mention. Not really sure, but it feels like my feet are glued to the floor. Don't wanna open up my mouth, cause I'm afraid of what's gonna come out. Life is but a dream. This can't be happening. Wake up, scream. I'm in a twisted reality. Twisted.
This car's a lot different from last time we seen it. Turbocharged and all, complete. That's what we like to see on Talking Rides here. But before we get going, Naomi, go ahead and plug yourself for your social media and all that.
Awesome. Yeah, my name is Naomi Salgado. I'm otherwise known as Sheloves4wheels on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, I believe. But yeah, this is my car. It's an '01 RSTI, as I call it, since it's STI swapped. I went with the EJ207 swap from Japan. I ordered it on eBay. It came with the 6-speed transmission. It came with hubs, Brembos, and all of the axles and everything that I needed. It didn't come with the motor harness, so I had to order that separately. Some of the big main custom things I did to this car, other than obviously it being an STI swap, is the hub change. So I have a 5x114.3 hubs on here, which isn't too big of a custom move, but what I did do is I took it to a machine shop and had them hub down or mill down the hubs so that it'll fit the GC suspension. So the suspension that's designed for this car is on this car, but it's also the better, more upgraded hubs, which I find a really cool additive to that car. And another thing, I did the STI, I did the 2015 STI rack in this, so it's 13-to-1 ratio, I believe. It's super tight, it feels great. That was one of my favorite things that I did because it was very DIY. For anybody who wants to know how to do that, there's a great thread on Naziok, and that's how I figured out how to do it, so check that out. I did Morimoto retrofits in the headlights. I had these last time, but I had blacked out the housings. This time I didn't do that. I feel like they're a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
Really happy with them. It's sitting on BBSs right now. Really happy with these. They're super lightweight. I traded my XXRs for these wheels, and the guy gave me $100. So I'd say it was a win-win.
Oh yeah.
They were covered in black plasti dip, so I had to buy like the plasti dip remover and take it all off. But then I saw how beautiful they were underneath, and I was sold. It's got a P1 wing on it. It's one of 1,000. There's only 1,000 ever created, so it's kind of a big deal. It's got a nice little carbon little edge there on the side. It looks great. I had it painted to match the car. It was originally purple, so that wouldn't have worked. I've got a nice eBay scoop right here. Lets in more air. It's got the roof rack because I like to ride bikes a lot, so it's actually usable. It's not just for looks. But I'd say that pretty much wraps up the car. The reason I went with the 207 versus the 257 is because I really liked having the forged internals, and I liked that it would rev up to 8K.
Okay.
The 2.5, the reason I would have went 2.5 is so I could have the access port. And I really kind of wish I did, because I would have liked to have mapped some of my drives and been able to see more info about my car as I drive it and be able to send it to a tuner and everything. With this car, I can't unless I go standalone.
Okay.
So some regrets there, although I am really happy when the car can rev out to 8, even though there's no power up there. It's still really cool to do that. It hits peak boost at about 43, 45 or so that's the best time to shift and go into the next gear. It peaks at 20 pounds of boost. It's at 308, 282, as Glenn said earlier. I'm really happy with it. Super peppy. It's on the VF34, which is a ball bearing turbo, a Subaru OEM ball bearing turbo. I want to upgrade all of that eventually. I want to go standalone with Link. I'd like to get a GTX turbo. I don't know which kind yet. Maybe the 3076R. Get 1000cc injectors. Upgrade my fuel pump. Get a new retune. All of that will be soonish, but not soonish. Probably in the next year, I'd say. So it's got plans. I'm never gonna sell it. I'm always gonna own it. It's my baby. But certainly, I'll be getting new power soon.
Oh
so.
yeah. So let's ask that painful question. How much are you into it for?
Okay, so including the cost of the car, everything done to it as it sits now, I'm roughly $23,000 into it.
That's not that. You know what? Considering that how good of a package this car is, that's not too bad at all. But a lot of people would guess like, oh man, that's a lot of money, because there's a lot of other all-wheel drive turbocharged fun cars you can get for that much. I mean, you can get, you can get newer WRX STIs for that. You can get Evos if you want to stay Japanese, but also you can go the direction of maybe getting something like the Mark 6 Golf R, or even like if you want to go front wheel drive, a lot of Focus STs are that price now, and there's a lot of stuff in that price range, but it's not as unique as this, and that's one thing that I really like about it. I mean, and honestly, for the $23,000 that you did spend on it, I feel like it's worth it. I'm sure you do too.
Right.
Because it's not just every other, 2008 WRX or 2013 Golf R on the road. It's something unique to you, and you the only person that other people have one, but it's not as common, you know?
Right. No, I love it to death.
So, what's next in terms of cars for you?
Next, I'm planning a V8 S chassis build.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm thinking an LS swapped 240SX. I like the S13 hatches.
S13, okay.
Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping for one of those. I want to pick up a really clean one. I'll probably overpay for it.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping for 240 tax. I'm hoping for a pretty clean one that I can just also swap parts over from a rolled Camaro, I'm thinking. Just so I have everything.
Which generation Camaro are you thinking?
That's the thing. I don't know yet. Still doing research every day.
It all depends on, how much power you want.
Exactly.
Because I don't know if you want it to be more usable, you want it to be fast as hell.
Well, the point of the car is to learn how to drift.
Okay, so you want usable.
Right.
And in the 240, something like, like a 5th gen or 6th gen with the 6.2 is going to be a little overkill. I
think it is a little overkill.
I mean, because I'll put that link later, put it in the video, but I reviewed a 2017 Camaro SS this past year, and it was fast as hell, like 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds.
Yeah.
And it was like 35-40 grand. That's insane.
And in a heavier car.
Mm-hmm. Imagine that in like a little 240.
Right.
You'll hurt yourself.
Yeah. Yep. Hoping to get into drifting. So that's the next thing.
What are some things that you don't like about your car, even at this point?
At this point, I don't like that I can't map any drives.
Yeah.
Like, can't record any information. I do have gauges in this car. I bought the AEM gauges. I have a boost gauge, AFR gauge, and oil temp, oil pressure, sorry. And I watch those diligently, but it's not the same as being able to record as you drive. And I really wish I had an access port so I could do that. There are access ports for this model, for this motor, but they're extremely hard to find, they're super outdated, and they're very expensive.
Yeah.
So obviously that's not going to happen.
Right.
So what I'm thinking going forward is get the standalone to, combat that. Another thing is the car's just really, it's aged, I guess. So it makes a lot of noises as you drive.
Yeah.
I notice everything. Like I need to grease my rear sway. I hear that over every bump, the little squeak, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
If anybody's been following my car, you know that there's a squeak that my car makes that I've not yet been able to figure out. Things like that. I mean,
gives a character.
It's a character, exactly. It's just loud. It's not a great daily.
Yeah.
That's probably my only thing.
Yeah, this car, in its form, I do agree that it probably would not be the best daily, but every time you drive it, puts a smile on your face. But that's the only reason. That's the more reason to get another daily.
Exactly.
So when you drive it, it's more special.
Exactly. Well, I'm going on year 3 of dailying this.
Yeah.
And it's now the first year of dailying it with the swap.
Yeah.
So It was louder without the swap.
Really?
Actually, yeah, it was louder and not as great sounding.
Yeah. Sounded lawnmower.
Yeah.
All right. I would like to thank Naomi again for coming on the show and bringing the car in its complete form. I'm really glad that I was able to, you know, get a chance to check this thing out complete. I just reviewed it in the review what is going to go up before this video, so go ahead and check that out if you haven't seen that yet. And go ahead and follow her on her social media, Sheloves4wheels, on Instagram and YouTube, and, you know, subscribe to me too. So if you like this video, hit me with a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, keep riding with me.